Welcome to Growth Gatherings podcast, where we invite industry thought leaders to talk about the evolving trends in business and take a closer look into their personal life so we can learn from their successes and failures. Please welcome Shafaq Sewani. She's a co-founder of Fresh Basket. They are successfully running this business since 2018. Let's hear her story.
We started Fresh Basket in December of 2018, and this was after a lot of contemplation and a lot of to and fro of if we should start something like that or not. I basically started my career with investment banking at 2BL. I was financing solar and wind projects there. There were long hours, a lot of pressure, but it never really felt meaningful to me. And my husband would keep telling me, "Why are you doing something which you're not passionate about?" I was newly married, managing the house, managing a new job. It was getting too much for me. Doing groceries was the thing that I dreaded the most because I hated going to like a traditional hawker, picking up fruits and vegetables. I would pay extra, go to one of the supermarkets and pick up produce, which I was paying much higher price for it, but obviously I was not getting the quality that I wanted. On the other hand, my husband was managing his family business of export of fresh produce. We used to export a lot of fresh produce to Middle East and European markets, and he would always compare and complain how what they used to export direct from farm and the quality that they used to export, they would never get it here locally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So he was always very passionate about we should do something in local market with that. We used to travel a lot. We used to admire how a lot of fruits and vegetables that were available abroad were never available to us over here. So after a lot of thought, I decided to quit my job and get on this project. And I started obviously with the support of my husband because he couldn't do it full time. I was the one who took the lead of it. But rest is history.
Yeah, and I visited your store on Shahbaz. Firstly, I love chilgozas that you guys have. I mean, if you haven't tried those chilgozas, please try. Secondly, other products. And you know what I was thinking is just the quality as you're talking about and also the whole packaging, the entire experience. So I like to understand a bit. I mean, one thing is yes, you want to pivot from your corporate life to starting something on your own, which a lot of us want to do. But I'm sure it requires a lot of resilience, a vision, pricing, the whole thing. So walk us through your journey.
So, if you don't know, but our first store was at 26th Street. It's a very small store, we still have it. And we started with just fresh produce like fruits and vegetables and nuts. That's the only thing we had started with. But I feel we took a lot of feedback and we took a lot of suggestions from our customers. People started asking for things, why don't you stock this, why don't you stock that? And that's what basically started curating our store. We did not have cheese or dairy or any other things that we have right now. So I feel we took feedback really seriously and we really heard what people wanted out of us and we basically delivered. Apart from just having products that are packed or repackaged or made in house, we have a lot of other things. For example, different brands and different cottage industry, home based brands that we have. So it's not just like a supermarket. I would say it's more of a food retail where you will find maybe like imported stuff as well as locally produced or locally grown things also.
Yes. And how do you ensure the quality?
So everything that goes on the shelves, whether it's fresh produce or whether it's a home-based product, everything is checked. Like we're very, I would say, very strict about quality. So, for example, vegetables, they cannot be on the shelf the next day. It has to come off. The new stock has to come up on the shelves. The old stock will never be on the top of the new stock. You will always find fresh daily produce at our stores. That's given like it's a standard. The employees know that भाई ये नहीं हो सकता पुराना सामान हम नहीं रख सकते ऊपर. Other than that, the homemade products or the locally produced stuff, everything that is on the shelves or in the fridges you find has been tasted or checked or approved by us. Nothing has been up like nothing on the store is some like everything has been tried by us. Something that does not is not up to the mark or it does not meet the standard is not put on the shelves.
And I think that's why Fresh Basket is really known for their quality. Another question I have, so when you started the business, because you know a lot of particularly women, I say, and especially in our part of the world, they would start something small like making samosas or kebabs and then supply. But of course, you have taken it to a different level, right? So the question is, does it require deep pocket? Because financing, is it a big thing? Or as you said, of course, one thing you mentioned which is different is hearing from customers and incorporating it. But still you need a bit of financing, a bit of organization. So uh, what's your take on that, and what would you advise to women who want to pivot from just being a small cottage industry from their kitchen to a bit more established business?
I would say you don't need to start big.
Hmm.
We started small, you can start small. You don't have to make a lot of noise when you are entering the market,
Hmm.
but you have to be consistent and you have to have you need to believe in the product.
Hmm.
You need to know that there is something that you're making which will basically make a difference,
Hmm.
which is needed by a lot of people, and that is something that will basically speak to customers.
Hmm.
I would say if women in our society right now, they have a lot of reasons of not starting a business. They don't have support from their
Hmm.
families. I would say in this world of e-commerce, you don't need a lot of finance. You
Hmm.
make something, you make a small website for it, you get orders. Even if you don't have a website, people get orders through Instagram.
Hmm.
So there is no reason for you to not start something you're passionate about, and you
Hmm.
don't need deep pockets for it. You start small and you basically grow with the money that you're earning with it.
Hmm. So reinvestment.
Reinvest. Don't go after profits from the start.
Huh.
You will not make money in the start, but
Huh.
you just have to be consistent.
And how long does it take? How long do you have to wait typically?
I feel if you're consistent, patience is the key. So everything works out in its own time.
Huh.
And I would say you can't be very desperate ki, oh, 2 mahine ho gaye, I am
Huh.
still not making any money. 2 months is not going to make a
Huh.
difference. You have to be consistent with your thing. You have to get feedback, and you cannot be with the mindset that what I'm making right now is the perfect product. It will have a lot of variations. You will have to incorporate a lot of feedback into your products.
Yeah. And so interesting. I used to work for corporate like you. And then when I pivoted, and someone told me, a very well established businessman here, he said it takes about 2 to 3 years.
That's
And
true.
I was just starting out, and I said, oh, 3 years, really? I'm going to make it in 6 months. It doesn't happen
It
that
doesn't
way
happen. That's true.
because you need a lot of perseverance, persistence, listening to feedback, and then you improve. Um, One more question. So, your co founder is your husband?
Yeah.
And who else?
My brother.
Okay, so how is the family dynamic? Because that's another angle, right?
I'm the sandwich.
You
So I would say you have to have boundaries. When you're at work, you are co-workers. You can't bring your personal relationship in that. You can't have your emotions basically overpower you while you're at work. For example, if you're in a meeting, you can't assume that your husband or your brother is going to side with you because you have some idea. You have to be open to criticism also. But keeping a work life balance is also very important. When you're at home, you can't be bringing your work at home because that just messes up your family life. So I feel that you need to set boundaries. Men are not that great at it. Women are the ones who need to do that, because if men will always be working, their brain, I would say, works in one dimension where they are just working all the time. Women are the people who basically have to have a brain which have different sections where they're doing their office work also and managing the household and their kids and play dates and show and tells, which the men are not worried about.
Hmm.
So I think we're doing the real work by keeping the balance.
Yes, and you've got a young daughter.
Yeah, I have two daughters. I
You've
have
got to.
5 and 3.
Okay, so 8 years running this business, and your daughter's 5 and 3. But the counter argument is then men are sort of giving up their responsibility, so it's not co-parenting. How do you see that?
No, though there is co-parenting involved for sure. I can't do the girls on my own. Obviously, there are pick and jobs, there are
Hmm.
extracurriculars that my husband basically takes care of. I would say I have taken the primary responsibility, but it's not like I'm the only responsible
Hmm.
parent here. Yes, I do get away with a lot of stuff at work because I have to look after the kids
Hmm.
also. But that's the slack that my husband picks up for me at
Hmm.
work then.
Hmm.
So it's just a balance.
So it's a partnership, and
It's a
I think that's
partnership.
another important learning when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, whether you establish as a co-founder, but I think that family support infrastructure is quite important. And
I don't think I could have done it without my
yeah,
family. Like
and
raising two girls, um, like tough hours. But for example, if you're opening a new store,
hmm,
recently we opened a store in Clifton and it required us giving like 12 to 15 hours a day at the store, setting it up. So there were days where I would just drop them off to school and then see them at bedtime.
hmm.
So the family is what keeps you grounded, and they're the ones who are the primary caretakers then. And basically, you rely on them and you have that ease that, okay, somebody whose family is looking after my girls. And I feel if you don't have family support, it's very, very difficult for at least a woman to be working full time.
I agree. I think both for men and women, but particularly for women, particularly with responsibilities, I think it's very important to have that support. And it could be your husband, your brother, your dad, all creating that support system. I think it's very important for for women, because men, I think, are good at it, because they have their sports sort of club. Connection or other connection, whereas women somehow, especially when they get
Mm.
married, especially when they have children, they stop investing in those support system, and it could start from your own family as
I
well.
feel we're too busy living those expectations that are
Hmm.
there in the society attached to a woman or a mother,
Hmm.
because it is sadly there, and it is sadly attached to a woman
Hmm.
only. But I feel things are changing.
Hmm.
Men are changing diapers now,
Huh.
so things
Yeah,
are
yeah.
changing
So
now.
things are
Yeah.
balancing. Um, doing business in Pakistan as a woman, as a co-founder, um, what are the challenges, what are the opportunities also, which we may not hear, because we do hear the other side of the story, or there are so sorry, just before you answer, one thing I'll tell you: I started my career and I used to be in sales, and everybody tells me that it's not easy. It was very easy for me. I got a lot of respect and I met my targets also. So I want to hear, what are the opportunities?
Okay, so let's talk about the opportunities first. When given that currently women entrepreneurship is something that is being encouraged a lot, um, financial support is sort of easy right now because there are so many programs, there are so many
Hmm.
funds and subsidies that are being given to just women entrepreneurs. I feel when we started Fresh Basket, I was the face of it. I was the one who was doing everything from scratch. And the biggest challenge you face is the human resource. You
Hmm.
don't get reliable, good human resource in this country because you would not believe, for the first store that we opened up, for the first 6 months, I was the cashier.
Hmm.
I was the one opening the store. I was the one at the till. A lot of people were amazed at how a woman is a cashier. And even in my own family, like for example, my grandmother once told my mother that Shafaq is so educated, why does she have to sit at a dukan? So obviously it was a very different idea and
Yes.
it was something that nobody had done before.
Huh.
So it was very hard for them to digest that, oh, she's sitting at a fruit and vegetable ki dukaan.
Huh.
But now obviously they're really proud of what we've done.
Huh.
But other than that, the challenges I would feel is biggest challenge till date, human resource. Secondly, I would say consistency. A lot of, I would say, political, legal, a lot of challenges that we face. Some lack of structure, I would say, in the country is something that really, really puts us at a setback.
Yeah, I think the HR, or the quality of HR in the blue collar space, I think is an important one, and also it's a great opportunity, because if, as you said, if there's a little bit of structure and we start putting a bit more method to that, I think our productivity levels will go up.
That's true.
And but that's an area. So how do you see, what's the vision for Fresh Basket?
The vision for Fresh Basket, I would say we want to be like Whole Foods for Pakistan,
Hmm.
because a lot of people say, why don't you just open a supermarket? But we want to stick to food retail. There is so much opportunity. There is so much to do in just food retail. obviously, we right now we have done everything with bootstrapping. We
Mm,
have used our own funds. We have used company reinvested
mm,
profits. We haven't had any funding yet. We have done everything on our own. Obviously, to grow, you need financing, and that's something that we will be looking at in the future. But I would say that people have seen us grow from store to store and adding things. There are so many things we want to do, but obviously, with the I would say with challenges related to legal
mm,
and government instability, we really can't take the leap actually.
One question, in terms of your focus area is sort of comes under health and wellness, organic food, and that area. So, how do you see the consumer behavior around that?
I would say it's changing, it's growing, and it's amazing how I see young people at this age going towards healthy eating. Like, I feel when I was 18, I was not bothered about what I was eating. I was having junk all the time. I would say they're so concerned about their health, and which is amazing. Also, I feel there's a very big part of our um, community where fitness, like a lot of gyms have started coming up
Hmm.
now. So being fit and staying healthy has started getting easy, and it's more accessible for people.
Hmm. So now switching gears, you mentioned your husband works in the agri sector.
But he's
The-
full time fresh basket also now.
He's full-time fresh basket. But I want to know again for the viewers who want to pursue their career in agri sector, what are the opportunities and is there a space for white collar or is it just blue collar?
I would say right now it's blue collar majorly, because growing right now, like, people have lands. A lot of, I would say, landlords of olden times now have children who are well educated. Some have chosen to live abroad, and some have actually come back and
Mm,
done amazing things at their own lands. Like, we have a lot of educated people, educated girls who are basically taking care of their mango orchards for their fathers and doing such great marketing, and basically bringing those mangoes which had never seen the face of Karachi.
mm,
Now they're like one of the popular ones in Karachi.
mm,
A lot of people are doing vertical farming,
mm,
so that's basically controlled farming. A lot of people are into mushroom farming also. So a lot of new things are started to come up, but obviously not as much as we want. We still sort of depend on a lot of blue collar staff for basically base structure for a lot of things. And I feel a level of education and level of acceptance to change is very, very difficult there.
mm.
Like, people don't want to change, they want to stick to their traditional methods.
Traditional farming,
Yes.
yes. And
So
and I think
that's where you face the real problem.
yeah. And I think, I mean, yes, in farming, but many other industries, I think what has happened, the world has evolved so rapidly. And in many industries, people are used to doing things in a certain way.
Mm,
So I think that would be true. But you're right. Primarily, agri sector is blue collar workers, but there is a scope, as you
mm.
mentioned, for white collar or, people who are interested to grow in that area. So you were, before starting this business, you were working with UBL and financing
Solar and wind projects.
solar and wind projects. What is the scope of or understanding of sustainability in our part of the world? Again, what are the opportunities? What are good business investment opportunities here?
I would say food related businesses will never fail in Karachi, because
Karachi, Pakistan?
Pakistan, I feel Pakistan as a society, we're very like food focused.
Huh.
Our recreation is basically eating.
Yeah.
So anything that is food related and something that is new or innovative in food, it takes off.
Hmm.
We've seen products that basically are, for example, kimchi.
Hmm.
People would not have heard about kimchi like maybe 3 years ago.
Hmm.
It's a Korean achar
Hmm.
technically, and we have some brands who are making it, and they are flying off the shelves because people want different things. They
Hmm.
were just not available to them earlier, but now that things are available, people do travel, people
Hmm.
do watch Korean shows, people watch TV a lot, and they see all these products. And when they see it on the shelves, they sort of relate and they want to try those things. So anything that is food related does take off. Yes, you need to figure out that you are not just chasing a trend,
Hmm.
because that growth is basically short lived. If there is something, there is space in the market, there is a problem that you're solving, food related or maybe education or health related something, I would say go slow, but the growth will be there.
Hmm.
Chasing trends might not be the right way
Yeah.
to go about it.
And what about windmill sustainability projects?
I feel things have changed. When initially, when I was there at the investment banking department at UBL, these all these solar and wind projects had just started coming up.
Hmm.
So the government was giving really great tariffs and like really good, attractive pricing to these people who were setting it up. But now you see solar at every other rooftop,
Hmm.
and it's not giving the right benefit to the person who has installed it. I feel now the saturation
Hmm.
has sort of reached. So as a country, probably we're not really going towards a sustainable energy thing, or
Hmm.
we're not given the right compensation for it. But as an individual customer, we are doing ourselves a favor. But in the longer run, I don't think. Uh, there is growth, but obviously that exponential growth which we saw in like years 2014 से 16 तक अब वो नहीं है.
नहीं है. What about EV, electric bike?
EV, I would say, is still dependent on electricity, right? And that is something that our
Hmm.
country already struggles with. The power consumption of that EV car, for example, is sort of on a 70 kilowatt battery. It charges for, let's say, 7 hours. And the normal car would run for about, let's say, 290 to 300 kilometers. That's still one third of the price you would pay on petrol, but you never know what's the energy cost or the electricity cost going to go up to. So
Hmm.
that's a sort of gray area where we really don't know if these EV cars are going to work in the country or not.
Hmm. What's your routine and how do you keep yourself active? Because obviously you've got family, you've got business. So, what are your personal hobbies and activities that
So
you like to
basically, my
pursue?
morning
Yeah.
starts early. I have to drop off the girls to school. And right after the drop off, I make sure that I hit the gym.
Hmm.
That's about an hour or so. And that's after the gym, I go to our store, Clifton store. So normally we do a lot of rounds in our store.
Hmm.
So that's the time I visit one of the stores. I grab coffee from there. By the time I'm back, it's time for me to pick them up.
Hmm.
So that's the first half of my day where it's involved, like it's personal,
Hmm.
it's for my girls and it's for me. 12:30, I'm at work.
Hmm.
That's when I will not talk to anybody at home other than any emergency. So 12:30 to 5:30 is where I'm really focused at work. After 5:30, I don't take any work calls.
Hmm.
5:30 onwards, it's my family time. I basically go home early. I spend time with my girls because I just get 3 hours with
Hmm.
them before their bedtime. So dinner is sorted right after, like they are in bed. I just sit in front of the TV and I binge watch a lot of things. I have taken up the new bandwagon thing. I've
Paddle.
paddle, so I try and get catch a game like 2 games maybe per week, but I'm not that consistent with it. But other than that, I just normally do like a weekend hangout.
Hmm.
During the week, it's very like monotonous for me.
Mm. But it's good. It's like structured
Yeah, it's very
monotony.
structured.
And as they say, if you want to achieve anything, you need that discipline, which can be
Yeah.
boring, but it gives some kind of a structure. When you started your business, I'm sure there have been ups and downs. Any moment where you thought of giving up, but you did not?
I would say when COVID hit,
Ah,
it
yes.
was difficult time globally. We did not know what was happening. We were very new in business. Like for example, COVID started 2020 March. We had started our business 2018 December. So it was hardly a year, over a year
Hmm.
that we were established. People were getting to know us, and we were sort of in positive cash flows. And that's where everything went. Everything was shut down, and I was expecting my first child, and I was put under lockdown at home because I was not allowed to go anywhere. And things just seemed really, really down for me because I could not go to work. I could not do anything other than just look at the cameras, see what was happening at the
And there
store.
were no customers because it
There
was a
were no
lockdown.
customers because people were just ordering online. So that's where basically I sort of lost hope that what's going on. But obviously, we have to basically cash on the opportunity that comes up. We at that point in time just had the retail store, and we
Hmm.
had just started like maybe small level of deliveries.
Hmm.
um, we understood the need of the market. We came up with the website within 1 week,
Hmm.
and our delivery started, and it was something that we did not understand how the website was blowing up, because people were ordering right, left, and center. And we were developing our delivery system. It was a lot of things happening for us at that time, where even like for I remember this one day where our printer pages, like a A4 packet, was we went out of stock for that, and the stores were not
Hmm.
open. COVID में कुछ सब बंद था. We had no way to buy A4 size papers. Like, that's the sort of um, uh, challenges that we faced
Yes.
during that time. And yes, we felt that things were not working out the way we wanted, but obviously COVID did not do great for a lot of people, but we sort of found the opportunity, and we worked on it. And I feel that was like the great idea that we had to focus on deliveries at that
Yeah.
time.
And I think what I find consistent in your story is listening to consumer, because challenges do happen and COVID was difficult for
Yeah.
many. But again, you did not give up, and also sort of keeping your eyes and ears
Yes.
open, that what are the opportunities, because there's always, when there are challenges, there are always
Because
opportunities.
obviously, like, customers would come, like there was a certain window
Huh.
where people could come out of the houses and come do their
Mhm.
groceries. That's when people started asking, "Kya aap ghar pe deliver karenge?"
Huh.
That's where we were like, "Okay, fine. Let's just start doing deliveries,
Huh.
full blown deliveries. We need a proper network. We need a proper website for it." And that's how everything started then. So
Amazing.
yeah. So apart from just the stores, we also have like a fully operational website where we do deliveries.
And what's the website?
It's called freshbasket.com.pk.
And it is across Pakistan or just in
So
Karachi?
we do nationwide deliveries, but just for like nuts and seeds, nuts and products which are not perishable.
One area, Shafaq, that I always wondered, that women's participation in startup, in entrepreneurship, and how are you seeing their role in Pakistan? And number two, how are women shaping the health and wellness industry?
I feel women really know the pulse of their families. When
Hmm.
it's clean eating or maybe healthy snacks for the kids, they really know what's needed.
Hmm.
And I feel women are coming up with such great ideas and such great products that we have not seen previously. At Fresh Basket, we have a lot of home-based products, and I would
Hmm.
say 70 to 80% of those are by women entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
And you would be amazed the age range. Basically, I also stock vegetable stock from a girl who is 10 years old to peanut butter and nut butters by a woman who's probably 60 plus. So it's women of all ages who are doing something great in their kitchens, something great in their homes, and they are just building these small communities, and they have like a fan following.
Hmm.
So for like women like these, they are creating businesses which are basically intentional and serving a purpose rather than just a transactional thing that they want to do.
And where do you find these collaborators and partners?
I would say that initially I was hunting them down.
Hmm.
I would go to like these Karachi farmers market and
Yeah.
find vendors that we would want to stock. But ever since we started stocking, a lot of people, obviously, a lot of people started knowing about us,
Hmm.
and then they come up with a lot of, they send samples to us, they drop their numbers, they send emails. Sometimes they come up to the office and force us to try things. But obviously, even if it's somebody who's very close to us and comes up with a product which is not up to the par, we don't stock it. So a lot of things are basically first hand. Like a lot of things just come to us as a sample. We, not knowing who it is, what the background of of that person is, we stock it if it is up to the mark.
If it's up to the
Yeah.
standard. So now let's do a rapid fire round. So what's a finance lesson? Your major's in finance.
Yeah.
What's a finance lesson that you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Cash flow is more important than profit,
Hmm.
because I feel profit is theoretical, but cash flow is something that keeps your business alive.
So managing your cash flows, and how, what should be the outlook? 12 months, 6 months
I would say for a perishable business like ours, 3 to 4 months is the cycle for your cash
for
flow.
the cash flow. What's the one item in your pantry that's always available?
Banana chips that we have at Fresh Basket. It's like a family favorite.
Yes? Okay, I'm gonna try. I
You
haven't
should,
tried
you
that.
should.
Yes. If Fresh Basket had a theme song, what would that be?
There's a song by Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling.
Ah,
That's
okay.
the energy that we want people to feel when they come to the store.
Amazing. I love that. What's a common healthy eating habit, myth you wish more people would stop believing?
That healthy needs to be bland and boring.
Mm. Yeah,
It
it can be
it
interesting.
can be interesting. It can be really delicious also.
Hmm. And if you could mentor your 22-year-old self, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would say don't go after the money. Do what you're passionate about.
That's true also.
Yeah.
And finally, what's a book or mindset approach that inspired you and changed your approach to your business?
I would say start small,
Hmm.
stay consistent, and listen very closely.
Thank you so much, Shafaq. It was a pleasure talking to you. And it's really great that you are doing so many good stuff
Yeah.
and keep it up.
Thank you so much. It was great being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for watching Growth Gatherings. And don't forget to like and subscribe this podcast and share with your friends and family.